Anyone to testify in opposition? Please come forward.
Thank you, Chairman, members of the committee. Susan Myers of the 20th. I volunteer as State Director of Women for Gun Rights, am a member of Armed Women of America, having just stepped down as chapter leader after 7 years. I currently lead my church's safety team and am a member of the Faith-Based Security Network. All this to say, I am all about advocating for and educating on carrying of firearms for personal protection as well as in defense of others. In opposing SB 905, I debated whether to select informational purposes instead, because while I strongly support the bill's intent to get more armed and willing protectors into our schools, simply put, I vigorously support Missouri's Volunteer School Protection Officer program, and it is where I feel the legislature should look if seeking to expand, mandate, and/or help fund our schools' armed protection of our most precious treasures, our kids. Expanding it to include other employees and retired LEO, even civilians, I would be for that. As to the bill and the information and suggestion side of things, there's a couple things I feel compelled to address. The training program is set up with 3 categories of applicant: civilian, law enforcement, and military. Firearms training and defensive tactics are among the listed training of each group, though under both the active and retired law enforcement and military applicant, it reads abbreviated firearms training and abbreviated defensive tactics. Absolutely not. Anyone seeking to step into the role as frontline defender of our children needs to show what they are capable of today, not getting to rely on past performance or job description as a shortcut into the position. Jack Wilson was 71 years old back in 2019 when he drew his pistol and dropped an active shooter from 45 feet away in his Texas church within seconds of the start of the attack. This is the skill and capabilities I want to see applicants push to strive towards. I mention Mr. Wilson because I worry someone like him would be refused Missouri Ranger certification simply because they are unable to pass the rigorous physical requirements of the program. I believe there should be a mission focus on the training aspect of the bill. Do they have a protector mindset, the heart for children, and the ability to stop an active threat at the instant they have a clear sight picture and a safe shot? That is what I care about. Lastly, although I heard him mention it here, I didn't see any sort of stop the bleed type training mentioned, and it definitely needs to be added. Past shootings have shown that victims bleed out and die while the buildings are being cleared and EMT is forced to wait outside. Those on scene need to be trained to perform these life-saving techniques during that time gap. I thank the bill sponsor for his desire to enhance the armed protection of our schools, and I hope he forgives me for being unable to offer my full support at this time.
Thank you for your testimony. Does anybody have any questions? Now, with the abbreviated training, I definitely I could see a potential need to revise that, because there are branches like the Navy and the Air Force actually don't go through initial firearms training. They don't qualify. Like in the Marine Corps, you had to do that level of training. Where like in Air Force, I don't believe it's as a basic standard of requirement for their military service. I don't think firearms training is even a part of Air Force, and I'm pretty sure most Navy don't have to qualify on a firearm. Am I correct in that? Senator?
I would agree with you, Chair. And
yeah.
I would add Space Force and
in Space Force, yeah, no, that's right. Laser beams.
I think we honestly have to even question whether the Army, at this point.
We have 2 Marines on here that may have a little bit
of enhancing the training of firearm use. That's right. Yes.
May I speak to that?
You may.
I would just say firearm skills are perishable skills.
They are.
That's why I wanted to stress that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And I'm sure willing to work with us on this. So, perfect. Thank you very much for your testimony.